Beyond the Beltway, where the D.C. intelligence industrial complex flattens out to an endless sea of parking lots and gray office buildings marked with logos and corporate names designed to be forgotten, there's a building in Chantilly, Virginia, whose fourth floor houses a windowless internal room. The room's walls are painted matte black, as if to carve out a negative space where no outside light penetrates. In 2014, just over a year before the outbreak of Ukraine's cyberwar, this was what the small private intelligence firm Eyesight Partners called the Black Room. Inside worked the company's two-man team tasked with software vulnerability research, a job that required focus intense enough that its practitioners had insisted on the closest possible office layout to a sensory deprivation chamber. It was this pair of highly skilled cave dwellers that John Hultquist first turned to one Wednesday morning that September with a rare request. When Hultquist had arrived at his desk earlier that day in a far better lit office, one with actual windows on the opposite side of the Eyesight building, he'd opened an email from one of his Eyesight colleagues in the company's Ukraine satellite operation. Inside, he found a gift. The Kiev-based staff believed they might have gotten their hands on a zero-day vulnerability. A zero-day, in hacker jargon, is a secret security flaw in software, one that the company who created and maintains the software's code doesn't know about. The name comes from the fact that the company has had 0 days to respond and push out a patch to protect users. A powerful zero-day, particularly one that allows a hacker to break out of the confines of the software application where the bug is found and begin to execute their own code on a target computer, can serve as a kind of global skeleton key, a free pass to gain entrance to any machine that runs that vulnerable software, anywhere in the world where the victim is connected to the Internet. The file Hultquist had been passed from Eyesight's Ukraine office was a PowerPoint attachment. It seemed to silently pull off exactly that sort of code execution, and in Microsoft Office, one of the world's most ubiquitous pieces of software. As he read the email, claxons sounded in Hultquist's mind. If the discovery was what the Ukrainians believed it might be, it meant some unknown hackers possessed, and had used, a dangerous capability that would allow them to hijack any of millions of computers. Microsoft needed to be warned of its flaw immediately. But in a more self-interested sense, discovering a zero-day represented a milestone for a small firm like Eyesight, hoping to win glory and woo customers in the budding security sub-industry of threat intelligence. The company turned up only 2 or 3 of those secret flaws a year. Each one was a kind of abstract, highly dangerous curiosity and a significant research coup. For a small company, finding a nugget like this was very, very gratifying, Hultquist says. It was a huge deal for us. Hultquist, a loud and bearish Army veteran from eastern Tennessee with a thick black beard and a perpetual smile, made a point of periodically shouting from his desk into a room next door known as the Bullpen. One side of that space was lined with malware experts, and the other with threat analysts focused on understanding the geopolitical motives behind digital attacks. As soon as Hultquist read the email from Eyesight's Ukrainian staff, he burst out of his office and into the Bullpen, briefing the room and assigning tasks to triage what would become, unbeknownst then to any of them, one of the biggest finds in the small company's history.